Hey, Duckies and Dice Fiends, welcome in. It is Tuesday. I am Kay. We are grooving to songs in our heads that we did not request to be there, but here we are. um, So welcome. We have an incredible special guest today who I am so excited to talk to. But before we get there, David, who the heck is you and what the heck is we doing here?
I am endlessly tormented by Radio Dumbass. But no, hi, I'm David. This is the Chaotic Wholesome Presents Tuesday Technical Difficulties Late Start talk show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better player, how to be a better GM, how to be a better person, all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusivity so that everybody can have a good time.
And hey, forgot to do a thing, so give me just... And of course, Zoom changes the position of everything.
Course.
Here we go.
I think as we introduce us, love that. I think as we introduce ourselves, we have to say what is the song that we have stuck in our head, the bad song that's stuck in our head.
Okay.
I think that has to
Rex.
be part of the bonding experience that we're doing right now.
Candace! Yes, so hi. David, what is the song currently in your head then?
It's the Mario. It's the Mario world where it's like boop 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 boop. It'll never let me go.
And I'm Kay. Normally I have a lot of stuff to plug about all the various things I'm on, but this month we're kind of doing Magnificent Pride, Chaotic Wholesome Presents Magnificent Pride, because holy cats, 5 charity games in 1 month, but I guess 4 and 1 next month because scheduling is terrible. But yes, mostly find us here doing that. I have a lot of projects under the hood that I hope to be able to talk about soon. But of course, find me every other Wednesday on the Emergency Power Podcast, a homebrew Starfinder game. But we're going to talk about a different Starfinder game today. The song currently in my head is Dirt Man because David mentioned it.
Nice,
and
very
now
strong.
It is there, and it is his fault. It would never have crossed my path had David not sent it to me.
That's where he keeps his dirt.
That's very good.
Yes, that's how this is sometimes. Please no Mario. Yeah, last episode got wild with the Mario talks.
I forgot about
avoid
that.
Yep, psychic damage. Psychic damage.
Yeah, it was spicy.
Writing that YouTube description summary, y'all, was... But that's enough of us. We have Candace, the truly magnificent in chat, who was the amazing individual who made all of these charity games happen. So let us then get to Robin, our incredible special guest, to tell us who the heck is you and what does you do?
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. Hi, how's it all going? My name is Robin. I do a couple things here. I GM the Atomless, which is a Starfinder game. I have a new show, which in a fugue state, me and my best friend in the world, Supervid Dylan, made, where I haven't completed any Dragon Age games, and he loves all of them so much that they've done it cover to cover like 5-6 times, all of them. So we decided to do a Dragon Age book club called Dork Spawn, where we go through the games chapter by chapter. We literally have 1 episode. We're recording the next one tomorrow. We already have like a nice little community of like 9-10 people who have all started Origins that are going through it with us and sharing their things. It's great. And we have shows upcoming, which we'll be talking about later.
My best friend and the GM for the Himbo Bard that Mo had to hear all about before you got here.
Yeah.
Both adores Dragon Age and is like, Dylan's stuff changed my life, so I need to make sure she gets in here.
Damn. Yeah, absolutely. And Dylan is just the best, just an absolute piece of sunshine in my life. The song that is stuck in my head today, not even today, just like as I was running home from work, it is not Chapel Rowan's Red Wine Supernova, but a parody song called a parody Minecraft song called Redstone Elevator. That is it's just the same, but it's all around Minecraft. And I saw it on TikTok, and for some reason it's just been stuck in my head. Yeah, and I couldn't. Yeah. So I couldn't explain it.
You would need an entire excavator crew to unpack the layers of meme in that song.
You would. I risky sent it to my friend because I was like, she is kind of into Minecraft and they love Chapel Rowan. So this is a risky send, but hopefully it pays off, and I think it did.
Before David injected Dirtman into my head. I have a horror game that has been on hiatus for 6 months, and we're starting it back up tomorrow. Is our like
Love.
session 0 to move to the new system, and so I've been listening to their soundtrack. But they are country AF. They are my nod to my people. So much of their soundtrack is country, which, you know, but they have this weird trying to be friends, very contentious relationship with one of the big bad NPCs who's like an honorable bad guy, but very clearly a bad guy.
Love that.
And they're kind of a cop, so they're trying to like, you know, figure this out, right? They've got a whole redemption arc coming. They have no idea. But the fun fact for me, which my GM doesn't know, but all the other players do, is that the theme song of these two is "Let's Just Be Friends" from the Angry Birds movie.
Nice.
And that has been
specifically
in my head.
From the Angry Birds movie.
Specifically, well, it was I think it was written for the Angry Birds movie, and that's even more funny because this character is Ace. And people don't realize that. So I was looking for a song about "Let's Just Be Friends" because like I just like people. And then it was like, nope, this is Burton and Kanehurst. That's what this is.
That's so good. You know what? I'm on Spotify right now. I'm doing my research about the Angry Birds movie. I didn't know that they still did Shreks.
They still do
I
Shreks.
thought-
Yes.
This is the best news I've heard all day. I actually didn't know that was a thing still. Damn. Huge news for the Shrek community.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Are you saying there are more movies or?
No, like Shrek. There are lots of Shrek movies. Shrek 5 is
Right.
coming out any day soon.
Yeah.
But
5
movies that are 5.
And that's not
they're-
counting like all the spin-offs.
Yeah, because I know
No,
there's
not at all.
spin-offs.
There's spin-offs, there's a musical. But Shrek's like they're animated movies that have actual songs in them, is what I mean. Is what I mean by a Shrek. The pioneer of the genre, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
5. I just so I want to say that it's too many, except one, the absolute dumpstering that the first film did to so many people in the movie industry deserves its own monument. So if they make 100 of them as just in tribute to the first one, great. But also, like, when was the, like in the past like 20 years, how many like legitimately good kid franchises came out where you sat down and watched them and they were wholesome and they weren't like cringy and like awful and only spoke to like 6-year-olds and were like just like one of those like YouTube Kids videos.
Are we talking like a
but 90
heyday Pixar, like a
Right.
like a Toy Story, Monsters Inc., those types of like
Right.
really timeless movies?
And like outside of Pixar, like who is churning? Because like I hearken it to like the Land Before Time series because there are like 10 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah. God, there are so many Land Before Time
There's
movies.
loads. There's huge. Yeah,
There's 36 Land
So
Before
many.
Time movies, and
There might be.
after the first one, they all hit like the same thing with like Ice Age. I don't know how many Ice Age films there are now. I know that they're like somewhere in like the 12 to 400 range.
The Land Before Time movies are garbage. The first one is great. First one makes me cry.
There's,
After that.
listen, they can't all be garbage.
They can't.
There is like 15, 16 of them. I'm sure
Right.
one of them in between is like pretty good.
But they all hit the same story beats, and they're always a good.
Yeah.
And like same with Ice Age, like you sit down and watch an Ice Age movie, you're going to have a couple of laughs. The kids are going to like it. It's not going to like indoctrinate your kid with something awful. It's not like a Joe Rogan podcast. and then you just like and then you keep it trucking, and it doesn't like stick. And so like if Shrek. And I'm glad like Shrek and Ice Age are doing that thing because like I said, we had those films when we had the Land Before Times and like a couple other different franchises when we were kids, and it was like, oh, it's the 7th in the series. Here we go. And so if Shrek keeps on that legacy, like I would rather have Shrek 17 than another James Bond movie. Like, I would rather have
Oh,
Shrek
yeah, all day.
17 than so many other franchises that, like they're gonna make another Minions movie, and I haven't seen not one Minions movie, but
I tell you what, though, the people who makes Minions, is it DreamWorks?
DreamWorks,
No,
yeah.
it is DreamWorks. They're doing stuff right now that I think is really cool. They like have had shorts where they're openly mocking AI, and they have a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh damn, like maybe the Minions are all right. Maybe these little guys
Right.
are not are not dreadful.
Right. I just want it on the record that it is 6:30 here in summer. It is sunny in New York. It is bright out, and some dipshit is out there shooting off fireworks right now.
Oh my god,
Right
I
as-
woke up this morning and someone was firing off fireworks. I know what it is. People are really stoked for the sun, apparently.
They really are right now.
And just loving life.
If Spike Lee has taught me
Illumination.
anything-
Very good, thank you.
yeah, Illumination for you're right. I was wrong. If Spike Lee has taught me anything, it's that when it gets hot, everybody starts acting up. Everybody loses their goddamn mind. Because there are like three different Spike Lee movies where like one of the main characters of the movie is hot in New York. Like
Very
has
strong.
a speaking role. and all it says is fuck you.
But before we go
But.
too far, speaking of like the unhinged squirrel and the minions and just some other weird little guys,
Yeah.
we need to talk about guys in chairs.
Oh, right. So this game that you'll be seeing on this channel on Thursday was made by possibly the greatest person to ever exist. My best friend ever. I have them tattooed on my arm. We got matching tattoos back in January because we went mad. They've
Was
got
it that warm? Was it that hot out?
It was in January as well. So we just lost our minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've only played this once. Candace came to me and was like, "Hey, buddy," and I was like, "What's up, gamer?" And they're like, "I want you to do this thing for these Pride events," and I was like, "That sounds awesome." And then she was like, "You can pick any game, preferably by a queer creator." And I had some pictures. I was deep in the Fallout mines, so I was like, "Oh, the Fallout TTRPG is like pretty fun," and I kind of look at it, but I was like, "No, it's not queer enough. It doesn't work."
I mean, you can technically make anything queer.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
challenge
believe
accepted.
me, like it's easy. Yeah,
Make the Yuletide gay? Certainly.
just done. Yeah, but we had just come off of Breakout Con here in Toronto, and I played one game. Because it's a big event, but it's mainly about like sharing tables and then playing TTRPGs with people. And I did one game, and it was Dylan's game for guys in chairs, and it's a game that I've heard a lot of people talking about. Dylan makes 1 billion games a year, but this one was one that I heard a lot of people talking about. I sat down and I played it, and it was so fun. It's like very freeform. You make yourself as a guy in chair and a superhero who you're the guy in chair for, and you have these like crossing relationships with other people's guys. Well, your superhero has a like either negative or positive relationship to another superhero. So then you, because you're so closely tied to them, you also have a positive and negative relationship with them. And God, it was so fun. The table that we were at were people who clearly haven't played TTRPGs a lot before, and we're like nervous meeting new people, but it's like the game just by the end, everyone opened up, and we were all like, at that game, it was like everyone was playing parodies of superheroes or just straight up superheroes. So like we had a father and daughter who were playing Spider-Man and Nightcrawler as their actual heroes. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to play the Doctor from Doctor Who because I was in the middle of a rewatch. But I named them the Surgeon.
taste.
Look at that guy right
Excellent
there. That's
taste.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Even his fingies move.
That's a That's a good mini.
Tail
But you know,
fins. Yeah, he's
that
not a
rolls.
mini. He's a largie.
He's not a mini. I know. I don't know the name for them. I have a red 13 that I saved up for so many years, just behind this bookcase here.
Aw.
Yeah, baby, I'm deep in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's of like outside of Cloud in the dress with the pigtails.
Yo, that's dope.
I
like
would go to Red
Turks.
13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Red 13, outside of the Turks, Red 13 and Barrett are like my.
Literally my earliest like video game memory is me sat on my mom's lap while she played Final Fantasy 7, and I always loved Red 13. And like it all like literally was my favorite character till I think I played Left 4 Dead 2 when I was playing Elias. I loved him, stupid himbo southern lad. And ever since, because I collected when I was a kid all of the figures, so I have every character from 8. I have most of them. I have some from 7. I have most of them from 10. I have some from 12. All that jazz. But I never got a Red 13 because they're like he's not popular enough. So on their new run, PlayArts did a Red 13, and I was like, when I am in a good place in my life, I will buy it. And I said that when I was like 20, and I'm 30 now, 31. But for my 30th birthday, my partner Mo bought me a Red 13 as like a symbolic, like, we're in a good place. Look at this. And I was like, oh my God.
Shout out
He's
to
my
Mo
favorite
for making
guy.
the best choice.
It's so good. And she got a Barbie for the Barbie movie, and currently Barbie is riding Red 13, which I think is exceedingly strong. Yeah.
Yes.
Then you have to put Red 13 on the Chocobo and then have Barbie ride Red 13 while Red 13 is riding the Chocobo.
That's it, absolutely. And I'll get like a smaller guy to ride Barbie as riding Red, and then we'll just make a tower of it.
Perfect.
And that'll be, yeah, we'll put them in resin and hold them there forever. But yeah, we played Guys in Chairs, and it was so good. So then, and because there was a bunch of people who hadn't played games before, and they all got so into it, it's so easy to pick up and such like a fun, goofy, like funny game that Dylan was telling me actually there are like one of the games that they had that weekend was like a really serious, like emotional one. And I was like, damn, God, it's just, that sounds like so fun. So when it was like, hey, what game do you want to play? I was like, I like Fallout TTRPG, which I'm really excited about, or you could just do Guys in Chairs, because I want Dylan to be in the game anyway, because I need them around me 24/7. I was like, that sounds dope. Yeah. I was like, that sounds dope. So so yeah, I wanted to do that. I'm so stoked. That's just Zero, and everyone was like getting into it, and they will have their little character connectors. Yeah, it's gonna be either it's gonna be a brilliant time. I was gonna say it's either gonna be a really stupid fun time, or it's gonna be a very goofy time that suddenly has an emotional twist because everyone who is playing it is
everyone
very
in that
good.
table is so good.
That's it, and that's what I'm excited about. It can go anywhere. I'm looking forward to it. But it's also one of those games where I really can't plan anything, and I'm like, that's not my shit at all. Like I am a very like, this is what happens in today's episode. So I'm like, actually one of the shows that I did with Candace that we're going to be talking about is called Frequencies, and that's a short show, but I meticulously planned like everything. So so having a game that's like, oh, we're just gonna goof them up, and it's all free balling. I'm like, damn, I am nervous. I'm stoked though.
Understand. David and I ran Godplane for Candace, and it was our second time running it, which is a short, kind of on the rails ish, but very character focused. And I was like, I have a plan for exactly like what I'm going to do for Candace's character test, because I know Candace well, right? Because every we do it so every character gets a spotlight, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do for Candace, and Candace is going to be able to use their character to like break the chains and like just just like that moment of, and I'm like, this will be good. And then at a later point when we were writing out a thing, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this for this character, and this is going to be their big moment. And I'm like, okay, and then they're going to realize this is what's happening. And my notes literally said in all caps, what are they going to do? I don't know. Let's find out. Like, I'm like, I literally don't know where this is going to go.
Huge.
And
amazing.
I'm just letting go. I'm just going to let it.
Yeah. No, I'm in that mode. I so 4 frequencies. I said I planned everything, and I did. I really like. Um, so to give it a little backstory of what it is, it's a new show that Dylan and I made because we wanted to start this thing called Patchwork Productions because we already did the Atomless, and then Atomless kind of because the main ship on that is called the Patchwork, and we just both like the name very much. And we're like, let's make a thing where we can just put all the stuff that we make in one place. So Dorkspawn is technically the first show on this Patchwork Productions thing, but Atomless is also in it, but only tangentially. It's kind of its own thing. But on making this and really like shooting for, let's see if we can have a thing that we can make. I am a very anxious guy. I need I and I huge fan of horror. I love it so much. And we have for the Atomless, because in the podcasted version, we add a lot of music and like singer-songwriter things made by people, not just like ambient tunes. And I was like, I want a show that has, you ever watch Welcome to Night Vale? Listen to Welcome to Night Vale, rather.
Yeah.
Where they have the weather and it cuts to like a full 3-minute song. I was like, I want that. I want that type of thing where we can get like cool indie artists to just like do a bit. So I kind of, and I was like, and I'm also very anxious. And I was like, but what is it about this thing that's scaring me? If I'm to do a horror, let's figure out why I'm scared now and just use that to make a horror show.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'm scared because this is like, like becoming a creator of a thing with the possibility of it failing, and what are all the anxieties that come up around that. My partner Morgan, she's a full-time content creator, so and like we've lived together whilst she's been a full-time content creator, so it's also kind of like I was kind of like understanding those anxieties and how that affected her. So I was like, right, the show I want to do is a group of people have a radio show or a web series or something that it was just a passion project for them and has now just been picked up by like a big network. So it's now their full-time gig to make this show. So before their first episode, they go into the studio, and then all of their anxieties about creating things to have them for judgment online kind of manifest and come out in increasingly horrific ways. So I reached out to people who I adore. Dylan was always on the docket. Kappa Chris, who
Oh, Kappa.
oh my god, we did a mini series for the Atomless actually called Saga last year. And I fell in love with them so fast that it makes me look like an idiot. I love them so deeply. And my friend Art Plebe, who they don't Sloan, they don't really make a lot of stuff, but they used to be very prevalent in the space. And still are like kind of like working their way back, but we have done so much stuff together, and I was like, oh, they would be perfect for it. And we were looking for like that last space to fill, and Dylan and I could not figure it out. We like had a bunch of pitches, but then nothing was like cemented. And then I was on Dylan and I were both on Mimics and Misfits, Matt's channel, to do a Pathfinder game, and Candace was there, and we'd never met, and we hit it off so hard that after like the second session, Dylan and I jumped on a call and we were like, Candace is the person that is in this show now. And we reached out, and then I gave this pitch, and then everyone brought like their human, like their real IRL anxieties and things, and we're essentially like, hey, Robin, here's my trigger list. Use it to make a horror thing. And we'd all like talked about it, and it was very safe, but it was like this is a very real, deep-seated fear of mine. Let's do it, and let's make a show about this like kind of meta pseudo commentary on making it. And it's like every episode is based on a different horror genre. So we have like the stalker like villain genre, we have like a saw trap one, and we have a like eldridge one,
You
and
have
we've
David
got
so dialed in. David is like, David is gonna be like, give me the raw audio right now. I get it in my veins.
yeah, and it's great. It's so good. But for the finale of it, I'm not spoiling anything for it. It's like we just did all this stuff, and I was like, okay, my notes for it are say what is happening, everyone else does it until they want to close it out, and the episode ends when everyone collectively decides, okay, the episode is done now. And that was scary for me because I'm a big note taker. I had like 2 or 3 questions, like finale kind of character questions, but everyone just like nailed it, and it's so great. Everyone like was so present the whole time and so involved and was so like kind and giving in their own scenes. And then when it was like, because each episode is based on a different character, so when it was that person's episode, everyone just like knew the assignment and just jumped in, because a lot of the time when it's a different character's episode, the other characters aren't playing themselves. They aren't playing their character. They're just like, just jump in with an NPC that you think would work in this. And they just did it. And it was fucking sick. And Dylan is editing it now, and I cannot wait. We have songs in it because it's all based around a radio show. So the intro of every episode is a different radio show that has like a song-based introduction to the thing, and the soundtrack books. I'm so stoked for it. I can't say that much. Honestly, I've said so much because I'm just so excited about it. And I shouldn't really be talking about it.
Now
it's
everyone's
great.
excited about it.
Yeah. Matt wants to
It's
know if
really
you have a
good.
radio call channel, like a.
Oh, that would be sick, actually. That would rule. That would be really good. Damn. Actually, you know what's fun? We finished the show, and the show's not out yet, but I was playing a video game called Dredge, which I don't know if anyone's played.
Dredge is so good.
Loved it. Played it the other week, but like about a week or so after we wrapped Frequencies, and I was playing Dredge, and the deep ocean, scary, dude. We should not touch it. We should actually leave it for the fish and the things that live in it. I don't know why we bother it anymore.
We know more about the surface of the moon than we do the bottom of the ocean, and you know what?
Awful.
Look,
awful.
Like 15, 20, 100, however many years ago, millions of years ago, we collectively looked around in the ocean, was like, fuck this.
We left.
Figure out how to breathe up there, then stay down here with you motherfuckers. and Army Man crawled out. And the fact that anybody on Earth, look, the billionaire is going to pass. If they want to go down there and look and see,
they're allowed to.
Go,
the billionaire
consult with Cthulhu.
They're so smart, so strong. They should get in their ships and go down there. I think
the deep wants to go back, and I'm like, let him just go deep. Just stay down there. The deep.
Outside
that's
of
where
that,
you belong.
Like, and like, despite all the stereotypes, I swim. I love to swim. I love getting in the water. I love being buoyant. Like I would host this from a swimming pool if I could. Yeah.
We can make that happen. We can finally have your hot tub stream. It's
summertime, baby. No better time.
Wow, this is something I had not considered, and now thoughts are, plans are now being made. But the idea that people would just go find a beach, and I understand that it's a privilege to be able to go to the beach and look into the ocean, but as someone who has gone and looked into the Pacific Ocean, stood on the shore, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, there's a reason we left. No reason to go back.
Absolutely.
And now orcas and shit will just slap the shit out of you if you put a toe in there. Like, no, they've been bullies this whole time. And 100%. All they want to do is continue to bully you. And if they're not bullying you, then they're trying to make love with you. I'm looking at you, dolphins, you nasty motherfuckers.
It gets so bad that if I'm fine with flying, love flying. Oh, you mean I got to sit down on these movies I haven't seen yet? Love that stuff. I can't think about being over the ocean for too long. It freaks me out. So I'm like, there's a guy watching me. There's a thing in the ocean that I can't see if I looked out because it's too big and it's too far down, and it's looking up at me like I could hit it. I could get that guy.
It's looking up at you just like, and you're just
That
like,
motherfucker is gonna die today.
It's like that would be a snack. That would be a snack, not even a meal, a snack.
I was playing it and I was like, oh damn, maybe I need to do a season 2 of Frequencies because I already have ideas, and it's not even out yet. And that's how much I adore this crew, and I just think they're the best. So fully follow like Candace. I mean, if you're following Candace, you'll get the news when it's finally out. But I'm stoked for it. Yeah, it's my favorite thing I possibly may have ever done. I love it so much.
It's funny that everything around Cataclysm seems to come back to horror, because Candace and I met playing a horror game. We met playing Mothership.
Oh, love that.
I was a terrifying android.
yeah,
Yes!
ooh, yeah.
Yes. I remember you telling me about it.
I was the person where I showed up and everyone's like, kill it. That is the big bad. Kill it right now.
Delicious. Love that vibe. Oh, so good.
But yeah, that Candace ran Dylan and David and I and Adam and who was our last through a deep ocean mothership. Mark, thank you, Mark J. Through a deep ocean one shot in Mothership.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's awful. It's so
terrible.
spooky. Yeah,
It's terrible.
it gets me so much. And I didn't have this fear, or I didn't think I had this fear. It was genuinely unlocked over the pandemic. I was playing Sea of Thieves. I don't know if anyone's played that, but it's just it's a pirate game, fun, goofy pirate game. Yeah, there's sea monsters, but it doesn't even matter that much. But I was in the middle of the ocean, and there's a graphics, like a loading screen break above the ocean and below it. And I just jumped off a boat, and then I hit under the water, and all of the atmosphere changed, and suddenly something primal in me just like resurged, and it was like, get the fuck out of the ocean. What are you doing? Then I played Subnautica, and I had to stop after like a few hours because I built my base above water, which you don't do in Subnautica. It's a game about being underground. And I built my base above water just so I could stay out of it. I didn't go near my ship because there was giant leviathans. I was so scared. Stupid. Dumb.
Does anyone remember the game Ragnarok Online?
Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
I spent too much time in that game. I spent way too much time in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was my thing. Before I discovered TTRPGs, I played MMOs.
Yeah, as I'm sure most of us did.
It's a pretty straight through pipeline. And there was like, so I was working at a video store. I was working at Blockbuster. I'm dating myself. And I was maybe homebrewing absinthe. Maybe that was maybe a thing I
Love
was
that.
doing.
Huge.
So
Beautiful.
The deep K lore gets deeper. Continue.
I thought you
That's
knew about
dope.
that. Anyhow, I was playing that. Like I got home from work one day, and of course it was Blockbuster. So we were open stupid late, and then we ridiculously late, and then it was an hour drive home because I lived in the middle of nowhere. This is still in the Texas days, David. Closer to a big cat rescue than a grocery store. In the town where Joe Exotic was a cop. My deep lore is deep. And so I get home and I'm like, I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna play some Ragnarok Online, I'm gonna go to bed because you're like built up after dealing with customers all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had some absinthe and I'm like, didn't do a lot, but I'm like sipping it. I clearly had not eaten enough, and I'm playing Ragnarok Online. And it was this part where you're under the water. Like there were a couple like underwater levels, and I'm like going through and I'm fighting something, and I'm like, I can't breathe. I need this fight to end because I need to surface so I can breathe. My breath meter is gonna run out. And then I'm like, there's no breath meter. I'm just holding my breath. I need to get to bed. I'm underwater. I think this absinthe is stronger than I thought it was. I'm gonna end this game and go to bed.
I have one experience with absinthe, and this is when I was living in Cardiff. We had just like finished. There was like an in-person radio show that we watched. We went home to my American friend's house, and she was like, "Oh, I have absinthe," and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never tried absinthe. I'd love to have some." She's like, "Yeah, I brought it over from." She grew up in California, and I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, let's do it."
Harder to get there than in anyhow.
Nah. But we were like, okay, 3, 2, 1, boop, out. And that was it. That's the last thing I remember of the night. It's like I took the shot and then my body just shut down. And that's the only time I've taken absinthe. Because then the day after, obviously the most hungover a human being can be without pure death. We got into her Mini Cooper, and instead of driving us straight home, so there was 6, 7 of us in this tiny Mini Cooper. And then she decided that she wanted to sightsee and not drive us home. So just drove us around all these different places.
No.
So I was in the back. There were 5 people in the back. There was one person on someone's lap and one person laid across all of us as 1, 2, 3 in the car. And I threw up in the car because she drove us around for an additional hour rather than taking us right home. And now I get car sick every single time I get in the car. And I was 19 at that time. 31 now. So I am not even joking. Ubers, just if I'm in the front seat, back seat, if the windows are open, anything, I feel car sick. I have a system now. I just got to breathe real hard around corners. But that's it. I hope that I can't drive myself, but I do want to learn, and I do hope that it doesn't carry over.
As someone who I went to boarding school for high school, and so for 6 weeks straight I wouldn't get into a car, and then we'd get into these like boxy, like very loose suspension vans to get away from the boarding school and back to civilization. And so by the time I stepped off of that to get onto another bus, to get onto a train, to get onto a bus, to get onto a bus in order to get home, I was ready to puke my guts out, to the point whereby after my first break, I would have dinner the night before and then would not eat until like an hour or two after I got home, which would be like 4 or 5 p.m. the next day.
Woof.
And then also I knew how to drive. Like I learned how to drive in high school, but didn't have a license because I was in boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, when I got my license, got a car, was driving around, zero motion sickness. Like if I am driving the car,
because you're the one in control of it.
Sick.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I have your gift.
I feel like it's like when you're in a VR helmet, you know, the motion sickness isn't as bad. Whereas if you're watching the screen of someone in it, it's way. I'm hopeful.
Right, you are. Also, yeah, I'm hoping it's also like that.
I will never tell someone to like revisit an alcohol that did that to them. But if you ever want the proper system, because you don't shoot absinthe, there's a whole thing with the sugar cube and the fire and with water, and it's a wonderful, beautiful tradition.
Yeah, but I grew up in British binge drinking culture, so
I mean, look, I grew up in the sticks, so
that's true.
I do get
absolutely.
It.
So we get each other.
And Kay, remind me of the name of the Doctor Who spinoff with Captain. Yes.
Yeah, Torchwood.
When you said Cardiff.
Oh yeah.
My brain immediately
baby.
went to Torchwood.
Dr. Jones, let me hear those beautiful Welsh vowels.
So, all of Doctor Who is filmed in Cardiff. To the point where now, I don't know if anyone remembers, it was a short-lived fine Doctor Who spin-off called Class. That was it was very like kind of like grungy teenager. The pilot is amazing, and a lot of the monsters are really good as well, but it flopped real hard. Written by Patrick Ness, who's like a YA author. Anyway, that was also filmed in Cardiff, and because everything is so commonly like, you know, Doctor Who, Sherlock, all that stuff, they were shooting like outside of my house when I lived in Cardiff, and they knocked on our door because they were like, "Hey, it's kind of raining a bit and we don't have a green room. Can we just use your front room?" And we're like, "Yeah, buddy, sure." And we just let them in. And so we just had the cast just sitting in our front room as all of the ADs and stuff were like setting up. Yeah, it's so wildly common. But Torchwood is actually deliciously fully set in Cardiff, and I love that city. It's a beautiful city. There is actually a spoilers for Torchwood. There is a Yanto Jones shrine in the bay, giant, like a full huge wall of just pictures and flowers that is regularly like kept up and like monuments to him and the character next to where their like transport down to their like HQ
the
was.
entrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I trying to
That's
explain to my friends who grew up in Europe that like I really want to go to Cardiff, and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Torchwood." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Listen, it's a
fun
beautiful
fact,
city. I love it.
It looks amazing. Fun fact: I cosplay Jack Harkness, and I got
And-
to go
and
walk
killed it.
up.
Murdered.
I got to go walk up to. I got to meet John Barrowman twice. Once
aye.
dressed as Yanto or as Jack Harkness, and I go walking up, and he's all like, "Hey there, nice jacket." I'm like, "Don't say that, Jack! Don't you say that! You don't mean it!"
I've never cosplayed him, but I played an alternate universe Jack Harkness for a fan Doctor Who series where we got, because again we're in Cardiff, where we got some of the cast who were in Torchwood to be in the fan thing. It's very fun. I do a dreadful American accent that you will never hear. No, you will not. You cannot look at me like that because I physically will not do it. It's in my DNA to refuse.
Will ask Dylan to peer pressure you into doing it.
Candace
I
has
can
heard
do-
it. Candace has heard it.
Oh yeah. Oh no, didn't you? I don't think Candace has heard the American. Candace heard me do a ghoul from Fallout, which is technically an American accent, but also technically a different voice in on itself. So I will abstain from that and say liar. Actually, yeah.
Goodness. I feel like we have covered so little ground and also so much. Is there anything else, anything else we need to talk about? Chat, what questions do you have? What can we?
Yeah.
I will tell y'all. I am not playing at the Guys in Chairs table, but I got to watch the session 0. I got to be a fly on the wall, and y'all, you were not prepared.
I got my notes, baby.
You are not prepared for what is coming, especially with the emotional damage that Jen is going to inflict.
Yes.
You are not ready.
That's it. That's what I desire.
Literally, when we were getting ready for to reboot the horror game, and I don't know the GM as well. He is a writer for the Fallout TTRPG.
Get out of here!
And I'm like,
that's a good game.
We're going through all of the stuff, and I'm like, fuck me up, fam. And like, I know that you are a GM who will do that, and this is me telling you. Fuck me up, fam.
Get in there.
I have given you everything you need to destroy me on a cellular level. Please don't chicken out.
Yeah, what else? I mean, yeah, it's okay. I have notes about a Fallout because I want to make a Fallout show so bad. I'm deep in it. I'm one of the people who like I know like the lore. I know like dates and shit to it. I love that franchise so much. Yeah, I want to make a Fallout a game using the Fallout system because I wasn't sure what I wanted to use for it. And then speaking to my friend Viditya, who is a game designer and he's also a fan of Fallout and knows all this stuff. And I was like, "Hey pal, what do you think that I should use?" And then he hit me back with the Fallout 2 TRPG is pretty good actually. And I was like, "Oh damn, okay."
Is it the Modifius one, or because I think there's
the Modifius one?
Yeah.
Oh, is there 2? Oh, there's a tabletop.
Because it was a tabletop
game.
before it was a video game.
No shit, is that true?
That's what the writer of the new tabletop told me.
Look at me saying that I know all the lore, and you immediately
Again,
hit me with something that I did not know.
Okay,
fake fan over here. Pathetic.
No, most folks in chat know I have a very, very, very bad dog phobia, so I cannot get too deep into Fallout. Like I was like, episode 1, I'm ready to watch this. This is great. Episode 2.
Oh no!
Like I evaporated. I'm like, never mind. Nope, this is not for me.
It's hilarious that we're talking about that because 2 or 3 days ago, because like I am an adult and I am also someone who like doesn't do things.
Yeah.
I have so for many reasons for the past like 2 years I've had trouble like watching TV, like sitting down and watching an entire thing, and then like my
Yeah.
attention span has gotten like shorter and shorter and shorter, and now it is starting to like open up again. I can play video games again. I can watch TV
Huge.
again.
Love that.
And so like 2 or 3 days ago, I sat down and I was like, well, let me check out Fallout, because like this other thing that I want to watch, I'm not really, it's a little too heavy for me to watch right now. And I'd done like 5 indie horror movies back to back over the course of like 3 days.
Huge. We've got to talk about those when
you're some of them really good. Some of them really bad. But and the bad and like they're bad in good ways. They're like the good bad ones, and then like the bad ones. Yeah. And I saw both. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is,
very quickly, Candace says they have an underground Fallout mod for Savage Worlds too.
Ooh, that's
but,
delicious.
Robin, we will talk after because I feel like I need to connect you to a person.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll watch like half of the first episode of Fallout, check it out. Hours later, the credits are rolling on the last episode of Fallout, and I was like, I really sat here and watched the entire fucking thing, and I have opinions about Fallout. And
love
make
it.
no mistake,
hit me with them all.
It's excellent. It is.
I really like it.
So for one, I'm a fan of anything Lisa Joy does. Like if Lisa Joy, one of the executive producers on. So like if you've seen Westworld.
Sure. I haven't, unfortunately, no. But yeah.
Ooh, do not get
I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's brilliant. I've heard it drops off pretty hard.
First season is absolutely worth every second.
Beautiful. Okay.
It does, but but it drops from being one of the best things ever made to being pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, huge. Love that. Okay.
But it didn't stick the landing the way that like She-Ra did.
Sure.
Or The Good Place did.
Yeah.
Didn't
Game flop off as hard as Game of Thrones. Massive. Love that for us.
Also, I did not know Lisa Joy looked like that.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard. Anyway.
Yeah, so again, I think chat knows this. I don't think you do. Before, in a previous life, my first real adult big person job, I was the lead moderator for DeviantArt. So I spent a lot of time so deeply immersed in fandom that Game of Thrones dropping off, it was like a fandom study for me. Like it's like you screwed that pooch that hard.
It's huge.
Sorry.
I am excited for the actual full essays that are going to be written, like studied. It has to be.
Fascinating. Yes.
Sorry, David, but David, you were saying about Fallout.
There's an exploration of cultural zeitgeist to be done about how quickly Game of Thrones immediately departed any conversation. Anyway, so
yeah.
So like I said, I'm a fan of anything Lisa Joy does, but also the set designers and the prop people. If they don't win an Emmy for like set design, because it's so like just every level of it was so and like I could sit here and bitch that like 200 years after they stopped making airplanes, the derelict airplane isn't still going to have white paint on it. Like it's a nitpick.
Yeah.
And the other thing is
we don't complain about yellow paint in games either. Fight me. Fight me. Those
we don't complain about yellow games.
Work in games. Yellow paint is very good.
People won't know where to go if the yellow paint wasn't there, and it's frustrating. But I am with you on some very minor things about Fallout that I don't believe are a set design thing, but I think are an overarching problem with the franchise as it stands. However, you were talking, and I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're all here to talk.
This is how we do.
I will talk endless. But so another thing that I think that I have like a not unique but specific opinion about, and that is LA movies and TV shows that no one says are LA movies and TV shows. So like Barbie. My writing partner, she was like, we're gonna go see Barbie. And I was like, all right, we're gonna go. So we and she's like, but we have to go this one specific place, which is a place where we've gone to see movies before. But she's like,
Sure.
listen, they have them in Burbank. There's a showing in downtown. No, we're going.
Yeah.
So we go to the Century City AMC to watch Barbie. The big building, the building where the where Mattel is located, is set in Century City. Like the conversation that they have, like in the corporate building on the first floor.
Yeah.
Century City is a character in the film, and so much of Barbie happens in LA. Like she shows up in Venice and Santa Monica and and so like no one told me going into the movie that this was an LA movie. And so it really it when it plays different in your head, and also it hits different when you realize this is like a movie town movie. This is a movie where they're talking to the locals. And Fallout is very much the same thing, where not only did they do like a lot of research on like the area, but there were itty bitty things that they put in the show that made it that is for the locals. So like everybody knows like Randy's Donut, like the Randy's Donut down by LAX. But if you look at the specific wreckage in relation to where they were, like when the lady who's the Vault girl, who's McLean, Lucy, Lucy's walking through the desert, and like she's on the beach where like Santa Monica and Venice is, but she's also walking away from LAX, and then there's like specific wreckage that indicates like the real world stuff that was there. And when they then show up at the vault, that Vault 4, that's Hawthorne's. Hawthorne is a city in South LA next to LAX. And so
that's interesting.
And it's just like if I've got, not only have I been to Hawthorne, but I've gotten my ass kicked in Hawthorne. Okay, I know that city. But if you haven't spent a lot of time in like the,
I took tourist friends to that boardwalk. Like I have been on that boardwalk with out of towners. Like it's very strange.
Yeah.
I'm currently in New York, but I spent 11 years in LA.
There are a couple of restaurants right on the other side of that boardwalk. I had a drink that was like a smoothie with alcohol mixed together in a martini glass with an edible flower sitting on top. And I locked eyes with the waiter because I was like, hey, this flower is sitting on top of it. Like, is this edible? And he's like, yeah, it's edible. And I was just like, are you sure it's edible? He's like, yeah. And I was just like,
yeah, that's LACMA is both Starfleet headquarters and Heaven and the Good Place.
Wow. Wow, that's a big crossover. That's
very
good
weird, like, watching, like, I'm enjoying that. I've been to that museum.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shit. You know what's so fun? We had just talked about this with the Doctor Who being in Cardiff, everything being in Cardiff. Because they also dress so much shit up to look like London. But then they're like running past a thing, and I'm like, oh, St. David's there? That's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
That was like,
that. I love it. It's my favorite.
Watching Magic Mike, and they're like, we're in Florida, and it's like, that's North Hollywood.
Not.
That's North
Shut up.
I know that place.
I know my city. Shut the fuck up. And I was born and grew up in London, so I'm like, I know you can't trick me. I lived in tiny London, which is Cardiff, where it's just that and now I live in Toronto, which is tiny fucking New York, where they shoot everything for New York in Toronto.
It's so much cheaper.
Yeah, literally, and they do the exact same for Cardiff and London. So I keep going, you can't trick me. I know my shit. Every time I see a movie
set in LA, and I'm like, that's Vancouver. I'm like, that's motherfucking Vancouver. Do not tell me this is in my town. It is not in my town. It's in fucking Vancouver.
Robin, I will tell you a story which I think you'll appreciate. I was before I started working in games, I was a games journalist. And I was doing Bethesda was doing a tour for a bunch of their new stuff, a press junket for all of their stuff coming out. So I went to this press thing and played all sorts of games. Not Wolf Among It. What's the Nazi one? They're shooting Nazis.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. I was about
Thank
to say,
you.
I was
I'm like, it's not
Nazis,
Wolf.
what?
I'm like, Wolf is correct, but that.
Yeah.
And there was a really creepy horror one, and one of the things they had Skyrim VR and they had Fallout VR. And so I'm like going through, and we played every single game.
Wow.
Like we were there for like 2 hours, just doing a whole thing, taking notes. And they put me in Fallout VR, and it was like not the start of the game. They were like, because they want you to drop you in and
They want you to do in the action, yeah.
Yeah. So they drop me, and I'm like, I put on the helmet.
Oh no.
And I'm in the middle of a wasteland, right? There's the great big power armor standing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around, I'm like, okay, and I'm like figuring out my Pip Boy, because you literally were doing this with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I have it, yeah. No,
I hear woof, woof.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You got dog meat next to you.
And not next to me, running to me. When I tell you I shot that dog so fast, my handler is like, "That's your friend." I'm like,
no,
that was not friend
That's
shaped.
not a
That
friend.
was large
That guy
and
is,
barking
man.
and coming directly at me.
Damn,
Did
that's
not
funny.
hesitate with the blicky. Just
Nope.
immediately.
I grew up in Texas. I know how to shoot. I don't care if it's a real gun or not. I will aim and I will shoot.
Shit, that's funny. That's weirdly similar to how I finished Fallout 1. So, in Fallout 1, there's a place called the Children of the Cathedral, and you can get dog meat as a companion, and you can tell all of your companions, "Wait here. I'm going to go do some sneaking," because a lot of sneaking, the companions will immediately bust it.
Absolutely.
But you can't do that with dog meat, and I had dog meat, and Children of the Cathedral, you can go and essentially get a guy to send you to the last boss. You can trick him if you have high enough charisma. And then you can convince the last boss to
So
kill
it's
himself.
Baldur's Gate 3. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was like, I was playing a high charisma character. I don't like the mechanics of that game. They're like moment to moment. So I was like, you know what? I have high charisma. I'm going to tell the guy to take me to the last boss, and I'm going to get the last boss to die because of my words are good. But dog meat is one of the companions that you can't tell to wait. So I was like, I'm so sorry, boy. And I took him around the back of the thing, and I just shot the dog.
Took
You
him all
took him
back.
around back.
And
then
all
I
yelled at him.
I shot the dog until it died. The problem is that the reason why I was struggling so hard with this is because I was playing a really weak character with super high charisma. So the dog almost killed me because I couldn't shoot it well enough. So it took me like a few turns of this dog. Like I shot the dog, and then it turns to me like, "What the fuck you doing, dude?" And it just bites me so many times that I almost die.
Oh, that
Anyway.
is. Yep, that is a horror game. That is how
Yeah.
you make there are so many layers of physical and emotional trauma and pain to
It's
that.
rough. Man, I love those. I love those early games. Yeah.
Candace has a question.
I'd
which is,
love to answer a question from Candace.
Are you sure you didn't do an American accent for a couple of seconds
Ah.
before an episode of Frequencies we were in the feral Green Room?
Now, this is the thing. Now, I said earlier in Frequencies, so there's like a radio show intro in every episode, and they're all different. And one of them, I want to say one of them and not most of them, I do like an American accent because it's a radio presenter. They are all bad. They're all like, and it's the same with, I did a show so many years ago called Realms Apart, where I was playing a character, and we started Realms just being a personal game, and then we liked it enough that we decided to make it into a full thing. But because it was a personal game, I was like, I'm going to be Irish. Can I do an Irish accent? No. And then I just had to kind of do it in public with a lot of people. And it's one of the accents that's like, yeah, it's Irish, but where is it from? And then you just circle all of Ireland, and you're like,
Yes.
there somewhere. That
I
is
have a
exactly what my
couple-
American accent.
I have a couple
I'm
Irish
so
accents.
bad at accents. All of my accents are like that. It's like you pick the zone, and I circle all of America, and it's like, yeah, I can do an American accent. It sounds like this though.
See,
Just all generic
I can
rubbish.
I can do 3 different kinds of Southern accent, Right, because
Nice.
there's the kind that like most people recognize. There's the sexy sippy, which is the rogue accent, and
Nom,
then
nom,
there
nom,
is
nom.
I grew up in Denton, Texas, which is where King of the Hill is set. So
Ah, very fun.
my people, we actually just talk like this. It's just a little flat
Full
and
Hank
slow.
Hill.
Yeah, I full
Love
Hank
that.
Hill, like literally.
Love that.
Yeah.
Literally, King of the Hill is set in Arlen. There is no Arlen. Arlen is a combination of Garlington and Arland, and their
Very good.
rival in football is Denton, and Denton is where I went to school. So,
Ah,
yeah, it's like that is my backyard.
I
very
don't know.
fun.
Like-
That's cool.
Like
That's my
I can
purse.
do a bad propane and propane. I could do a very bad British accent, which I will
Huge. Do it
never do.
now.
I will never do in front of a Brit because I know the British. They're like, that might be British, but that's the wrong British. Those are the people on the other side of the street, and they do their U's different.
That's it.
Like,
It's the same. It's the same thing as it's similar to America, where it's like Britain is so small and we have so many different accents that it's stupid, dumb. I can't do any of them. I have this, and this is a very neutral London accent because I went to fucking speech therapy when I was a kid, so they just gave me a wrong accent.
my Irish, I can do. I have to be careful to not go full Lucky Charms, but I can do an okay Irish. I can get away with
Nice.
it for
Very good.
for games at least.
Strong. No, that's good. And it's the curse of a GM where it's like I do so many different voices. I'm trying to make them all sound different, and 90% of them are like accents ? But I
Yeah.
also can't remember. I can't remember voice. Yeah,
Because
I can't remember voices moment to moment either. So if a scene changes and I'm out, I'll never get back in.
I have to take notes of like this one does this, like did this accent, and then be like,
Yeah.
I hope I can remember that. I am forbidden from doing the rogue. Yes, the one if you really want to fit is, I can almost guarantee you, unless you were like 3% of the population, your Australian accent is not as good as you think it is. My best friend in New York is an Aussie, and he's like, everyone tries to do their Australian accent.
Do you know what's so fun? I actually before show, we were talking about stupid songs that are stuck in our head. Dirtman came up, and then one of my favorite artists of all time, TJ Mack, came up. TJ Mack is like a character of a guy called something Alvarez. I think Brian David Alvarez. I don't know. Anyway, another character of his he himself got on the news in Australia because his Australian accent was so good that they thought he was from Australia, and that is so rare that it was literally newsworthy that a TikTok American was able to do a convincing Australian accent to them. And I thought that was so interesting because I have a friend who's Australian as well. They lived with me for a bit, and they're like, oh no, the Australian accent that a lot of people do is TV Australian. Not real Australian. We have two different types of apparently it's a significantly different dialect is like TV Australian because they teach it in like drama school and stuff. I just thought that was really interesting. But yeah, anyway.
My bestie talks about, he's like, whenever I go back home, they all make fun of me for not sounding Australian at all. But then I come back here and I'm talking out of my nose. Like, he's like, I have to train myself back out of it. But yeah, like it's the same. American does have like one kind of basic American accent that didn't used to be, but it's now the basic American that is on the news because they trained all the news people. Like it used to be, if you watch the news in New York, you would get the Brooklynish accent, right?
Sure.
And now newscasters, and I mean, if you're in the South, it might have a little twang, but it's definitely not. It is definitely not how folk talk.
We have the same thing. BBC British is a dialect that is trained to be like. It's why it's so recent. It's why David Tennant isn't Scottish in his Doctor Who run because he had to do BBC British. It's a huge thing because England is, and BBC specifically, is made up of bad people.
Well, that was one of the joys of when they had
food.
Andrew Scott. Oh, don't get David started on the food.
Hey, listen. The food in Britain has progressed so far that it's not even the thing that people make fun of anymore. Americans come at me with fucking their hot dog jello, and they think that they can touch me just because of beans on toast. Get out of here.
Yeah, David's favorite thing is watching British people be shocked that American food tastes good.
There is a lot of that. The thing is, though, is like, again, I grew up in London, so that stuff doesn't really touch us.
Yeah.
London is so multicultural. However, I did when I went back for the pandemic, my dad did make just a chicken breast with nothing on it, and I was like, "Hey, bud, you have to know this isn't good, right? You have to know this doesn't work." And he was like, "Yeah, it's bored," and it's so annoying because he's like one of the best chefs I know. Like I was a professional chef for years, and a lot of my shit was from him because he's so good at it. So him giving me that, I was like, "Get this out of here. This is so ingrained into you that you must know that this is bad."
One of my favorite TikToks that David sent me was like these, and they're like, yeah, like British. Someone was commenting that like British people, we don't really season our food. Like we cook it, and then we bring it to the table unseasoned, and then you put salt and pepper on it here on the table to your taste. And they're like, yeah, exactly. And the guy's like, but someone just pointed out that you have to season food while you cook it to unlock the flavors. And then it like zooms in on the guy going, like mind blown.
It is a curse. It is rough. Admittedly, I've kept away from a lot of that, so I'm skewed in the fact in that way.
Again,
Yeah.
Southern. One of my favorite things is watch it. There's a whole series of they give a bunch of Southern food to kids.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's so they're like, I don't want to eat this, and the one kid gets iced tea, and he's all like, I like this. This is good. Can I have? If my mom wouldn't let me have this,
There's a
we'd have a
video
problem.
of British kids eating a Popeye's chicken sandwich. And I'm like, this is why we have an obesity problem in America, because that shit is crap.
It is good. Yeah. A thing which we don't have in the UK that I fucking love is deep fried pickles over here. And I'm inhaling them. Whenever a place has them, I get, oh shit. You know what's a thing? I was never a chicken wings guy. I'm a big chicken wings guy now because they're fucking good over here. Holy damn. I haven't been to a proper.
Okra?
No, I don't believe so.
Do it. As
What
someone,
is that?
As someone who
David
does
hates
not like okra,
deep fried okra.
Go
It
eat
is
deep
my
fried okra.
people's. Mwah.
Okra. Spell that for me.
Okay.
Okay. I gotcha. No, I haven't. I actually don't know what this is. This sounds nice.
Okra is a love or a hate food.
Is it like a? It's like a. It's a pepper. I'm looking at. Is it a pepper?
It's
No.
it's
No.
a veggie. When you cook it, if you
it's
don't
built
cook it
like
correctly,
a pepper, but it's not a pepper.
yeah. And
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
if you cook it incorrect, if you don't cook it the right way, it gets real slimy. So a
Oh,
lot of people don't like it. But if you cook it correctly, and
Sure.
especially if it's deep fried and breaded, there's no slime.
It's
There's
just
just
great.
delicious. You put
Yeah.
some hot
It's-
sauce on that.
It's like how people feel with broccoli. They boil it and they're like, "This is fine. This is disgusting," and then no one likes broccoli, and it's like, "Well, then roast it,
Yes.
loser." Yeah.
Yes.
I knew that my aunt would not ascend to matriarch of the family
Oh,
when
pickled
I stuck
okra.
when I stuck a spoon in her gumbo and it was slimy. I was like, you cannot rule the roost here if this is what you are producing.
Yes.
Ascending
Go
to
back to
matriarch of the
where-
family is a phrase I'm going to be taking. That is so good.
Dylan, at one point when I was in my look, when I like a thing, I like a thing. And I have really great self-control until I do not. Right? David will confirm this, right? Like I am very responsible until I'm like, and at this point, I'm going to stop being responsible because this is the thing I desire. At one point in my early teens, I ate so much pickled okra in one setting that I pickled my tongue. I could not taste anything
Love
because
that.
I had
I did the
pickled my
same with-
taste buds.
I did the same with pickled onion. I inhaled my I went it was one of the things where you tell your grandparent, "Oh, I like this," and then that's your life for a bit.
Mhm.
I had one pickled onion and I was like, "This is nice." And she was like, "Oh, cool." And then gave me like 15 jars of pickled onion when I was like 11. So then I just ate it because I was having that moment where I was like, "This is really nice," and I'm going to listen to this song over and over again until I fucking hate it. So I just did that with
Yes.
pickled onions. Yeah, and I kind of wrecked, I think permanently destroyed my stomach. I don't think I'll ever recover. I had one pickled onion literally yesterday and I was like, "Ugh, I don't like this. I don't know why." And it's because I ate so many of them that my body physically rejects it now. Just like absinthe. All comes back full circle. Love that.
It does come. It just and to put a point on, I wouldn't say animosity, but what gets me fired up about British people trying American food The videos
I'm
I
glad you
see
finished. I'm glad you
Yeah,
finished
I'm into
that
it.
sentence.
No.
is,
Hey, listen, if the sentence ended there, correct. Still to this day.
but three things. One, I am half Creole, half Cajun.
Mm.
There is nothing that has ever been on a stove in my house that wasn't goddamn amazing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
And my mother did become matriarch of the family because she was the best cook. Two, the British went all around the world stealing all of the spices,
And we just didn't know how to use them.
brought them
No,
back.
no, rejected it. Decided we're too
Yeah,
good.
that's true, actually. Yeah, absolutely.
Once they became more common, like once they became affordable, then like the aristocracy, France, Belgium, the Dutch, the British all went, oh no, you have to taste the purity of the food, and then the commoners fucking follow that, because like if you look up like recipes from like the 1700s, them shits is wild. It'll be like, all right, you put like sugar cane and clove and curry powder and cayenne pepper and like chocolate sauce on top, go, and you're just like, what? like apparently the original form of lasagna was a sweet dish. They made pasta and put
Wow.
enough fucking sugar in it that it was sweet. But,
Fascinating. I'm actually into that.
and three, what bothers me, what wounds me to the core is not that they get here and like the food is good, because I know I don't need. I'm not going to quote that movie. It's that they're so surprised. Like there's an obesity epidemic in the United States. We have communities from damn near every culture on the planet that show up and not only make their own food here, but take what's here and then like makes it, like the whole reason that pizza's a thing, spaghetti and meatballs is a thing, is because Italian
Absolutely.
immigrants were like, well shit, there's a cow right there, let's fuck them up. And it's just like, and like the in Los Angeles, Korean barbecue is a big deal now. Also the 24-hour donut place, it was originated in Los Angeles, but that's a whole different story. But they took Mexican cuts of short ribs and made Korean barbecue with them, and they were so popular that now in Korean barbecue places the meat the Mexican way.
Yeah.
And then we have people who are like, oh, so like, we invented the burrito here. And then they're like, what if we take Korean barbecue and stuff it in the burrito? And also take these French fries and stuff it in the burrito, and them shits is meat. And so,
And yet, you do all this talk, and yet you were so offended by the gummy hot dog I sent you that you wouldn't eat it.
Seems pretty judgmental.
Kay delights in sending me the most cursed food item she can find.
Is it no? Is it a hot dog that is just? It's a gummy that's just shaped like a hot dog, or is it like
It
a
was
bread of a hot dog?
no, it was
and a gummy
all
sausage?
gummy, but it was all done to look like
You're doing very big motions with your hands. Is it like a normal sized hot dog but
It's
gummy?
Like that big. It's like that big.
It was pretty substantial.
Pretty
it was
big.
bigger than I am.
Yeah.
I went out of my way to find him the Thanksgiving feast belly jelly beans.
Ah.
I am going
it
to
ta-
ambush a friend
Oh,
of mine
whoa.
with those.
You gotta stop. Did it taste like a hot dog? The gummy?
I couldn't put that inside me.
It even had they had long strings of yellow and red gummy.
Yeah,
to
but
look
did
like
they-
hot ketchup and mustard.
Yeah, it looked like it, but did it taste like it? That's the because you saying that you got the Thanksgiving jelly beans, because I do know they make like savory jelly beans which sound like hell.
We found there's an entire if y'all go on the Googles and look up Thanksgiving meal jelly bean. It is a bag, and it is turkey stuffing.
No, get that Willy
green
Wonka
beans.
nonsense out of here.
And someone went through and was like, I am eating these, and has reviewed each and every flavor. And it is the funniest thread I have read in years.
Nonsense.
And I found a bag, and it
Awful.
cost me more to ship it across the country to David than it did to buy it. And I'm like, this is worth every penny just for his outrage. And the best bit was he gets it, he opens it, and he's like he's mad. I could feel he's mad from across the country. I could feel the glare. And he's like, you know what the worst part of this is? Do you know what the worst part of this is, Kay? I'm really hungry.
Right. It was one of those days where I hadn't eaten in like a day and a half, and like the kitchen was a mess, and I was broke. And I'm looking at these things, and I'm like, I can't. But that said, I have them, and
Candace wants them.
And a friend of mine was eating jelly beans in my room. And with the bag of jelly beans in hand, look over and sees the Thanksgiving, and I want to try it. So I've moved since then. It is in a box because like half of my shit I haven't unpacked yet. Hey DC.
Hey DC.
Half of my shit I haven't unpacked yet. Amongst the things that have not been unpacked is the bag of jelly beans, and I'm specifically.
I imagine you moved because they wanted it.
Oh no! I am inviting her to my new place so that I can record her eating these things and sending them to Kay and being like, "See, this person likes them. That's why they were a mistake to make."
You should get a nice little plate and then do like just get the turkey one and the stuffing one. If there's a gravy one, you should melt it and then pour it over.
Apparently, what's really dangerous. Apparently, what's really dangerous is that the savory stuffing and the sweet apple pie are almost identical. Like you almost cannot visually differentiate.
That's bad marketing. Actually, they should have sold it in a different package. If I'm getting a Thanksgiving dinner, I'm not looking for the dessert. I'll just get normal jelly beans.
Dessert. Apparently, the green bean tastes of if you took green tea,
awful,
let it spoil, ground it up, rubbed it in the dirt, brewed that, and then had someone drink it and pee it out. That is apparently what the green bean tastes like, according to this woman's review.
See, apple and a nice little like apple lightly cinnamon.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Delightful.
Awesome.
That's like the only. Apparently, they're like the stuffing wasn't bad, turkey was weird, not bad. The green bean. There's also coffee.
The green bean sounds worse. The worst bit of that does sound like the green beans because. Yeah, I don't know a decent way to put that into flavor. Yeah, that'd be rough.
But yes. Just so we have all these things that are objectively delicious. We deep fry fucking everything. Deep fried Snickers. Go try it.
Oh, that's a Scottish thing. I'm not letting you take that away from bloody old Scotland. Well, that's a lie. Doesn't work.
Cornstarch.
That's a liquid. No, that's a liquid. That's a lie.
Yeah, deep fried butter. Hey, Loveland. But yeah, no, Texas, we made deep. You do not understand. As Richard from the Emergency Power Podcast said, your people do state fairs on hard mode.
Oh, to be fair, the US fairs I've been to fuck crazy hard. So good. Y'all make great shit. I went to a Ren fair in Colorado when I was like 14, and it was fucking outstanding, the food that you had there. Yeah. And
Ren fairs aren't like, again, you need to understand. Deep South state fairs, the food is complete. It's its own thing. Like, you have not, the deep fried pickles there, I promise you, are better than the deep fried pickles you've had.
Oh no, 100%. It's still the best deep fried pickles I had is when I went to Louisiana.
That'll do it. Yep.
Tiny ass town in Louisiana, because my friend lived in like some literal swamp with like 20 people. And we had deep fried pickles there.
Because I might have family there.
It was, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was next to Hercules.
Okay, because I was talking to a lady as some people are wont to do, and my dad was there. And my dad's like, doing his own thing. And then she's like, yeah, I'm from Louisiana. And my dad's like, because all my family's from Louisiana. He's like, where are you from?
Oh, very good.
And she's like, oh, I'm from such and such a town. I forget what it's from. And my dad goes, I used to hunt bunny out there. Now, my dad, much older.
Huge.
Like,
Yeah.
like remembers Jim Crow. Like I'll put it this way. When Ruby Bridges was the face of integration and got escorted into the school, my dad was not just an adult, but out of the school system, out of college, and out of the military when that happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So when anybody tries to tell you that like racism a long time ago, ask my dad how long ago. Anyway,
fucking liar. Yeah.
But yeah, like in the time since he left Louisiana and came to Los Angeles and then like did the whole like I guess having me and stuff.
Yeah.
There was like a whole development in what used to be a field where my dad used to go and hunt rabbits with 22s.
Wow. Huge.
Right. And I forget what point I was going to make. It doesn't matter.
It was in a small town and
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are nearing the end of our time. And fortunately, I have the session 0 after this, which is awesome. But that means I can't stay and chat 5 ever as I would love to. So let's let's talk about a thing that we need to. Let's talk about Magnificent Pride. Let's talk about Guys in Chairs. Let's do one last like reminder of what the heck you're actually here for beyond just being lovely company.
Me taking shots at the British.
Yeah, Magnificent Pride. We have on Thursday at what time? Remind me what time it is.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Love that. Huge. We're gonna have a Guys in Chairs game. Guys in Chairs is a game written by Super Dylan, one of the best to ever do it. I love them so much. I have etched them onto my skin and soul. They're going to be in the game, and we're playing the game with a bunch of super fucking cool people. It's a game where we're all playing. We are not playing superheroes, but we are playing the guys in chairs that help the superheroes out of the little awkward situations that they found themselves in. They're all going to be trying to save the city, whilst they're like navigating their people and trying to fix and solve problems while using the help of everyone else as they're all kind of like in the same space, controlling all their heroes from the safety of their chairs. I'm excited for it. It's a great game. It's so goofy fun. The last time we played it, I laughed so hard I was hoarse, and I'm so excited to laugh so hard I'm a goat this time. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna be killer.
Well, we cannot thank you enough for coming on and talking to us today, for
Absolute honor.
Running this game. I am so excited to get to watch. I'm so excited to just bask in the awesomeness.
Candace for putting all this together.
And thank you so
God.
much. Candace has
Absolute hero.
done so much incredible work for this. As a reminder, Candace is up for a crit award for
Huge
best costume.
Oh,
Candace's partner is up for a crit award through our channel for our My Little Pony one shot for best overlay, because Candace's partner designed that.
Love them.
Mo is up for best lyrical song.
Yes, best original song, which is based on a character from the Atomless and has clips from the Atomless in it. Atomless is the Starfinder show that I GM. Yeah, we're in our horror arc at the minute. I'm in a big horror kick, apparently. We're in our very spooky horror arc, where we're in a city of people who cannot die regardless of how much horrific damage is done to them. So it's a very spooky arc. Yeah, it's dark. But it's great. It's delicious. Yeah, she's up for that, which we love to see. I'm up for best GM for a Paizo thing. I really wanted to slip past, but I knew that I wouldn't be allowed.
No. I'm like headed towards it. I was heading towards it. But you're in good company, because Pan, who is a friend of the channel and in the Starfinder game I play in, is up for best player Paizo. So I feel like we need to hook you two up. So you
Love
have the best
that.
GM
Huge.
and the best player together. But
And,
of course, Werewolf Feels Norden is also.
That's it. I was also going to say, also from the Atomless, Werewolf Fields is up for best Paizo player as well. Look at a Starfinder taking it all.
Take it all.
Take it out.
And weirdly enough, and this is still surreal, we are up for best legacy Twitch channel.
Yes,
for
you are.
TTRPG. So
Fuck,
if you all,
yeah.
it's wild. We were
Love that
running
shit.
one of the Magnificent Pride charity games when we found out.
Huge, mate. Huge. So sick.
Bananas. So if you come by Thursday at 4 p.m.
when you
Pacific,
come, your attendance
You're
is
going.
mandatory.
You don't. Super don't have a choice.
7 p.m. Eastern, come by for Guys in Chairs, a game written by Super Dylan, run by Robin, with Candace, Jen, Q. Dylan is in it.
There.
There, thank you. I always forget one person every table, and I'm like, come on, self, come on. Dare. Cannot wait. It is going to be a great time. Your donations will impact the game live. And it will also go directly to Black and Pink, which is a organization which helps Black, brown, and queer people who have been incarcerated, and gives them funds and help exactly when they need it, and also in the additional time that they have, a fight to reform and or abolish the prison system, because prison system here in America is not good. And
Bad. Dreadful. It was a bad idea.
Very bad. Terrible. So I would say we hope to, but I know David will speak over me. So we will see you Thursday. It will be a great time. I am so excited to watch the chaos and it is going to be a wonderful 1-2 punch, because it's going to be hilarious and it's going to be heart-wrenching. I know it because I know these players and how talented they are. Robin, thank you so much for rushing home from work and taking the time to chat with us. It has been a delight. David, who the heck is you and what the heck is we doing here?
I have many more things to say about the British and their food. No. Hi, I'm David. This is the Chaotic Wholesome Presents Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better player, how to be a better GM, how to be a better person, all with a focus on inclusivity and intersectionality so that everybody can have a good time.
And we do this. We're here every Tuesday doing this. Thursday is our last Magnificent Pride game, kind of, because we're doing a makeup game on the 17th of July, so come back then for Monster Hearts. Y'all, it is a table full of monster fuckers. It's going to be an incredible time.
Damn.
It is going to be incredible. And just incredible. And then come back Friday, where David and I are going to continue our first playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 with our chaotic home game characters. We are deep into Act 3. And apparently, maybe halfway.
Very nice.
Maybe.
Sure.
So we are going to raid over to someone. I know I'm letting David make that decision today. Be kind to yourself, y'all. Be excellent to others. We will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Go check out the Atomless.